I'm going to show you how to install our quick redo. Hey guys, it's Caleb with Rokblokz. Today I'm going to show you how to install our mud flaps, our quick release mud flaps on this 18 Jeep Rubicon JL. So I'm going to take you over to the table there and show you what you'll get in your kit, and then we'll proceed to install them on this bad boy. So what you'll get is, this is the front flap. You'll get a left and a right. This is the rear flap. You'll also get a left and a right. And this is one that I'm going to show you how to put together before we get it onto the actual vehicle. For the front here, we'll start with it. You'll take your M6 clips and press them on so that the extruded side is on the textured side of the flap, or the stamped side. And then you'll also get 3 thumb screws and an extra clip which will mount to the body. And then we'll go over here to the rear, and what you'll get in your hardware kit is you'll have 10 of the smaller bolts and 2 of the longer ones, along with the nuts to match. What you'll need to install them is a 3mm or an 1/8 inch Allen key. And so I'll go ahead and show you how to put this together. What you want to do is take your bracket, plate A, and then we'll take the smaller of the nuts and press them in to the hex shape on the textured side. Just kind of press them in by hand. As you're doing this, these will be an extra snug fit. If you need to use a tool, or you could potentially use a light mallet just to tap them into place, just make sure that they're aligned, and then really press them in there. This will help so that the screws will catch easier. And then the screws are actually designed to be the same length as the thickness, so that way you get a nice flush look. Alright, now that you've got all 10, now that you've got all 12 of those smaller nuts pressed in, you'll take one of the larger nuts. This is an M6, and that will go into the hole marked M6. It's a single one, and we'll just press that in the same way from the textured side. Set that on there. There you go. Press it in by hand. Alright, now that you've got all of your number 10 nuts pressed into plate A and your M6 nut pressed into plate B, locate your plate C and keep that to the side, and put with it the longer 5/8 bolts. And now we'll begin assembling the mud flap. So what you'll do is you'll take your plate and align it up with the holes so that the notches match each other, and your plate B will go on the back side, or the textured side of the actual mud flap. We'll line up all of the holes, flip it over, and then we'll place our 1/2 inch bolts through all of the holes but the holes right here. These ones will get the plate C and the longer screws. So we'll just go ahead and get all of those started. Now we can go ahead and start tightening those. The first 6 screws on this side you can tighten down really tight. On these ones, if you have any issues with them being too tight or not wanting to slide into the bracket, you always just want to back the screw off about 1/8 of a turn until it fits just nice and snug over the bracket. Alright, now it's time to take plate C and the longer 5/8 bolts, and this is just a backing plate to ensure that the M6 nut doesn't back out. Also, another little tip with these two, if you can't get them to reach and catch the bolt, take plate C off and drive the bolts in till it catches, and it will help sink the nut in far enough that you can put the plate on and then put the screw back in. Alright, now with that complete, we'll head over to the vehicle, and I'll start with the front and I'll show you how to install that, and then we'll move to the rear. Alright, now that we're over at the vehicle, you'll go ahead and remove the inserts from here, here, and inside of here. This is where this third hole right here, we're actually going to place our clip, and we're going to have the extruded side facing towards the inside, and it's just going to clip over top of there, and it'll be over top of the plastic and the metal behind it. Just kind of press that into place like so. And now we'll take our flap. First of all, we'll show you what it has. This cutout has been designed to use the OEM rock rails and clearance it. We do offer it with a blocked off. With this, you want to place the flap behind the liner and the mounts, so that way it gets sandwiched in there. Go like that, and then you'll take your 3 thumb screws and just get these upper 2 started. And then we'll go ahead and place our 3rd one through here and into that clip on the body side. When installing your flaps, you want to make sure that the thumb screw passes through both the liner and the mounting tabs with the mud flap on the back. Alright, now snug these all down. And if you're ever on the trail and you want that extra clearance, all you got to do is the exact opposite and just undo all 3 of these, slide the flap out, put it in your back bed, and put them back on when you're ready for them again. Alright, now that we're at the rear of the vehicle, what you'll need to do is remove the 3 OEM bolts holding this plastic on, so that way we can remove it and gain access to these 2 bolts along the frame. All you'll need is a 16mm, and we just have it attached to an impact, but you can get this done with a ratchet or a wrench. And we'll just go ahead and take those 2 out. We'll take your bracket. This can be used with or without this bumper bracket. So if you have an aftermarket bumper, these will still work. Just got to use the OEM bolts. So we'll mount it so that way it's facing and bent towards the rear, and so that the slots are almost in a frowny face. So we'll go ahead and get those started. Alright, and with the slots, it is meant so that you can rotate the bracket and adjust it to your liking. We're just going to go ahead and get it set up here and tighten it down. Alright, now with your bracket installed, you can take the flap, slide it up into position, and then the bracket is going to be received by this slot here. You'll go ahead and press it in, and as soon as this hole aligns with the slot in the bracket, you can go ahead and take your M6 thumb screw, and that's going to be your set screw. It's also your quick detach removable, so that way you can set it, lock it in place. This is adjustable, so that way you can match the offset on your wheels. And so we're just going to go ahead and set it, lock it in place, and that's the rears installed.